This is the Convene podcast. DEI expert Ritu Bhasin shares 7 tips for creating authentic, inclusive, and emotionally resonant event experiences. How to make belonging the centerpiece of your events. Written and read by Michelle Russell, Editor-in-Chief of Convene.
A former civil litigator in Canada and instructor at the Rotman School of Management at the University of Toronto, Ritu Bhasin now heads up her own leadership and DEI consulting firm focused on the values of authenticity, belonging, and intersectionality. She is the best-selling author of We Got This, Unlocking the Beauty of Belonging, and as a frequent speaker, applies that expertise to events. One suggestion she made on a Speaker's Spotlight blog post: ask your speakers and MCs to incorporate personal stories on the stage. If your first icebreaker of the day was asking everyone to share their favorite childhood memory, she writes, then ask your keynote opener to do the same. When the people on stage are engaging in these activities, that helps normalize and embed vulnerability and connection into the event. Convene asked Bhasin, who said she has presented at countless conferences, for more on how planners can make belonging, which she defines as the profound feeling that we hold inside ourselves of being honored and accepted for who we are, central to their participants' experience. Pay attention to diversity. It's critical, Bhasin said, that the people who are on stage are representative of the identities that I possess, in addition to having fellow attendees reflect my identities as well. People want to see themselves reflected. Your first impression sets the stage. This was important pre-pandemic, but I think post-pandemic as well, that as human beings, we're animals and we not only crave being in the company of others, but a lot of our emotional regulation happens. We co-regulate when we are in person with others, Bhasin said. Therefore, the spirit, the vibe of the initial kickoff of the event is fundamental for creating a space where people feel like they will be able to be authentic and vulnerable in navigating this experience versus, is this going to be one of those conferences where I need to put on a persona? How we actually kick off the event and who we put on the stage, how they introduce the learning that will be happening in the experience to come, the words they use about the opportunities to connect, they directly impact whether people will experience belonging or not. When conferences and conventions feel formal and rigid and don't have an opportunity for personal connection and interaction at the outset, it can cause people to shut down and put on a persona, and then the mask doesn't come off for the entire experience. When she speaks at conferences, Bhasin said that the first 5 to 10 minutes are everything. It's setting the stage for connection, for whether you're going to exhale and become an open vessel, she said, to energetically absorb my message or not. Don't be a buzzkill. The official kickoff to an event is often a reception with food, drinks, and music. An excellent start, Bhasin said. But then you're sitting at the table and someone really serious and stuffy gets up to talk, who has a fancy senior leadership role and speaks from behind the podium and has a script in front of them with some slides and talks at the audience. And then the sponsor comes up and does the same thing. That vibe and energy that was created starts to go down. While she said she understands why we want important people to grace the stage, she wants to throw it out there that that's less important to include at the beginning. Have them at lunch, she said. Have them at the end of the day. Be emphatically authentic. Bhasin teaches about belonging and authenticity for a living, so she has it easier than most presenters. I'm on a mission to help people to sit in the vulnerability of who they are and bring that spirit into how they live and how they work and lead. However, you could be talking about fiscal forecasting, you could be talking about AI, you could be talking about healthcare. The you you bring on stage should be your authentic self and the vehicle through which the information passes. Build social connection into the program. Incorporate icebreakers at the beginning of sessions and make sure to weave team events into the program. We're in a loneliness epidemic in our society, and people are hungry for in person interaction. And so having more of those team experiences is really important, Bhasin said. I also think that experiential learning, table work, speakers pausing to allow people to share and brainstorm and do an exercise at tables, is also really helpful. Anything that enables one on one connection. The physical environment matters. Tightly packed room sets are not ideal, Bhasin said. So if we were doing roundtables, there should be enough space so that people can walk around, that there's flow. I prefer roundtables over a theater-style room set, but when you have 2,000 people, you're going to have to do theater style. Tailor experiences to your audience. I work across industries, and there are some industries where they do things where there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that the same experience would be effective with another industry, Bhasin said. She advises planners to take a step back and ask themselves about the unique needs of their industry and audience. Based on who they are, she said, what drives them to experience belonging, joy, and creativity? Think deeply about the generational differences in the audience, as well as the other identity markers of gender, race, ethnicity, culture, geography, nationality, and position, meaning whether there'll be both junior and senior level professionals present. When we think about this from a macro perspective and have an understanding of who will be in the room and their needs and values and drivers, and what belonging could look like for them, she said, that's what ultimately can help us to create and shape a better experience.
Remember to subscribe to the Convene podcast on your favorite listening platform to stay updated with our latest episodes. For further industry insights from the Convene team, head over to pcma.org/convene. My name is Maggie. Stay inspired, keep inspiring, and until next time.